The Texas Family Code, as best as we can do it in a situation like this, where two people are apart, where two parents are apart, we still have a child in the middle, right?
Right.
The Texas Family Code, right from the start of Chapter 153, talks about how a parent's contact with their child needs to be frequent.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's mentioned in that language right there is mentioned in a couple of places.
Right.
Okay. And it is the duty of the court to ensure that it's frequent.
Right.
So the child have a relationship with that parent, and that's both parents.
Right.
It's just not the father.
Right.
And it's just not the brother. It's both parents. If you look at the Texas possession schedule,
right,
which a lot of people call the every other weekend schedule, it's really not. For the non-primary, the person who doesn't have the right to establish a residence, there's actually advantages to it because you get the first, third, fifth, sixth, eighth weekend over 2 months. Mom always gets the second and fourth. I said mom there, that could be dad too.
Right.
The issue is, and I've done that many times, this issue is who's the primary. So you look at the weekend times, you look at that, which start on Thursday, it's frequent, as best as what we can do with the school.
Right.
See, we get a school problem in place, the child needs to go to school, but let's try to do that. And dad, or non-primary, makes up for that in the summer by getting 30 days.
Let me ask you a couple of questions about that, because we've been fighting with the legislature to try to get those possession schedules changed. So last session they made it the expanded standard possession schedule was supposed to be the default. There are still people that say 50-50 should be the default. And my position is this: children need both parents. They don't need a visiting parent. They don't need one parent to be looked at either as a wallet or a pocketbook. Often judges will say, or the family code will say, well, this person needs to pay because this person's primary. And I think that there's a whole lot of other issues there. But the idea of 50-50, that tends to align a little bit more with the idea of equality from my perspective, especially if you have a no-fault divorce. If you have a fault-based divorce, if there's domestic violence, if there's ongoing adultery, whatever it may be, that's a whole different story. But if two people mutually agree to a divorce and they say it's no-fault divorce, why is the court even involved with that? Because no-fault divorce should also mean that both parents are good parents. Both parents should have access to their children. And a normal family has these disagreements. Isn't it prejudicial against? I'm asking a lot of questions in here, but I really want to hear your thoughts about this, because the idea of equality in the courts, and because generally speaking, and it's like breast cancer, both women and men can get breast cancer, but usually it's women that get breast cancer. And in our family courts, both sides can be treated unfairly. It tends to be much more so men, fathers, and that creates a fatherless crisis as well. And when it happens to a woman, it's also tragic. But what about this idea of equality and 50-50? Can you comment on that? People want to know, is this something does this judge actually believe that both parents are essential and needed, and that we should be seeking for equality?
Last question. Does Barry Brown believe that both parents, I don't believe so. The people who contacted me obviously don't believe so. I've had people, since I started my campaign, come text me, call our campaign, email us about issues associated with that court, which is why I'm running.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, there's a couple of things.
Okay.
And there's a lot of history here.
Okay.
Back in the day, there was in particular one judge in Dallas that would order a 50-50, straight 50-50. And I have written those 50-50s, okay? And when I do it, I generally like to start it on a Friday that ends on a Friday, which means...
So it's week on, week off.
It's week on, week off. And that was done often in the early aughts. Often, okay. And since that time, I've done it where there's been an agreement between both parties. Okay. But the rule now is if both parents live less than 50 miles from each other, the statute says the court shall order the expanded standard possession, which, as you referenced, starts on Thursday after school and return on Monday. Okay, that's the first, third, and fifth. Now remember, on the second and fourth weekend, the non-primary, and as you pointed out with the cancer analogy, that's usually going to be dad, they get all Thursdays through the school year.
Right.
So they're getting contact. They're getting a lot of contact. And sometimes we put in phone contact and things like that.
Right.
Okay, and you got to recognize that family law is a moving target all the time. You have people that overwhelm the telephone calls, and then you have people who strictly obey and this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so that's always kind of an issue. But it is frequent, and that's what the family code contemplates. That's what the legislature contemplates. There's going to be this kind of time.
Right.
And then go back to the non-primary. Dad's going to make that all up in the summertime. He's going to get that 30 days in the summertime. Mom does have a right to designate a weekend in that 30 days if he takes it exclusively. He has the choice when to take it if he designates April 1.
Yeah.